One percenters, welcome back. Coach Tommy here. I saw this on YouTube. I had a week vertical, so I did 100 box jumps every day. I don't know how long he did it, but there's a clip of John Morant saying he did box jumps every day. And if you're starting with a weak vertical, it will improve a little bit, but depends on where you start. But 100 box jumps every day, probably not a good idea.
So I thought about all the ways we could test vertical jump, power output, etc. for this experiment, but then I figured let's just jump to the most important test, the dunk test. Or in my case, the rim touch test. So I just got warmed up. What I'm gonna do is a few max jumps underneath without any run up. Then I'm gonna do a few with a run up. I'm gonna take the best of the both, and we're gonna use that as the beginning to compare.
You have terrible technique if your running up is nearly the same as your standstill. You should be approaching with a little bit of a circular or spiral motion. Go check out the whole one leg jump transformation. I put a bunch of jump videos
one
out.
Week of 100 box jumps a day. I'm gonna be dunking by the end of this, I can tell you. But you gotta focus. So just 100 box jumps a day for 1 week.
That looks 24 inches.
Increase significantly. How hard could that be? Well, it turns out it was actually a little harder than I thought. Starting off on day one, I was lucky enough to find an OG Rogue flat gains box at my local gym. I set it to 24 inches and just started jumping, doing sets of 10. And after my 5th set of 10, I was already sweating profusely. I was not used to that volume of constant ballistic jumps.
You could tell by the way he jumps, he's pretty strong.
But I continued to take ample rest times between each set of 10, and I made sure that each jump counted by trying to keep my legs more straight as I came.
He's wearing Vivo shoes, so low profile, so he's got some strong feet.
To the top of the box jump, rather than just getting to the top of the box by bending my legs and not really jumping much at all. That was so much more difficult than I expected. I could have made it easy though, but I didn't. So that's very important. Every jump, I really tried to jump. Yeah, I feel kind of like incomplete because like obviously
put effort into it. Every jump I try to jump. Put the box higher and you'll naturally try to jump harder.
So 100 box jumps didn't take all day. It only took about like 15. Still a workout though. Pacing myself because I'm focusing on the jump this week. I am focusing on the jump. Back of my legs, like right behind the kneecap right here, sore. But the most sore thing on me is actually the backside of my traps right here. I think it's from all the arm use in the jumps. Anyways, we have 100 box jumps to do still today, so I'm headed to the gym to get it done. And day 2, very sore in the midfoot, upper calves, but surprisingly the most sore in the upper back of the traps. I think it's from all of the arm use in the jumps that I just really wasn't used to doing such.
If you're doing box jumps and a ton, I'd highly recommend a soft box or something, a heavy foam, where if you scrape your knee or your shin, if you land on top, you'll be protected and it won't be out for a while. The old school plyo boxes, the economic plyo boxes, ones with the metal, not a good idea, especially if you're doing a lot.
High volume and so ballistically. Anyways, back to the gym where I found another 24-inch box with a polymer coating for grip for the feet. Fighting through the soreness, I just did 10 sets of 10.
He's a lot farther now from it. So he's actually not jumping as high or as hard as he did the other way.
Trying to make each jump count. I want to point out that I decided to wear my barefoot shoes throughout this entire experiment, not to get the maximum jump height, but hopefully allowing my feet to be more challenged than regular shoes, thus allowing my feet to be strengthened from this experiment.
Hey.
I was going to do more. I was going to do more working out, kind of fried after that. So I think I'm going to save it for tomorrow, maybe work out before I do my box jumps. Man, am I just getting old? No. Okay, it's just a new movement. That's all it is. So, just box jumps today, guys.
You're about to eat wall.
Can I just keep... I don't put my hands up because they're so tired. I pretty much only did 100 box jumps for the first 2 days, no other forms of exercise, and it was kind of getting to me, so I decided on day 3 I would prioritize some kind of upper body workout before I did my 100 box jumps. But I was super exhausted and super sore. So after doing a severely subpar
How does he
upper
keep
body
finding these
workout
different
that only
boxes?
lasted about 15 minutes, I went to do my 100 box jumps. But in an effort to get some excitement back and
No
hopefully
arms.
maximize my vertical, I decided to switch up each set of 10 jumps I would do. I started my first set using no arms, just trying to explode through the legs, through the feet.
The biggest problem here, if he's really trying to increase his vertical, the speed that he's compressing or bending down, his explosion's too slow. You're gonna have a very, very slow vertical. You'll jump very high, but if it's anything for sport, since he's trying to reach a rim, obviously trying to dunk, time under tension is too long.
To the ground. I then did full jumps, but with the box flip to 30 inches, the highest box jumps I've done yet. I then did my best at practicing depth jumps, which is where after jumping off of the
This is
box,
more
you'll
elastic.
rebound off the ground, trying to spend the least amount of time on the ground.
So elastic jump with this, with the rebound, he has decent coordination. It won't help with the vertical, with the max vertical, because it's a whole different muscle system.
Working on that central nervous system explosiveness. I did a combination of these different types of jumps at different heights on the box, the best I could do, trying to make each jump count. But as I closed in on 100 reps, I became increasingly fatigued. When I was done, I was exhausted. But I stayed positive, I got good nutrition in, and I focused on recovery, but also positive visualization
Red light therapy,
of
huh?
the vertical jump. I constantly imagined a force going from my brain all the way down to the tips of my toes, launching me off the ground as I visualized myself going well above the basketball rim. I ran the
Okay.
simulation through my mind multiple times for the next 24 hours. And by the time I made it to the gym on day 4, I felt like this positive visualization really paid off.
How long
My
did you do it
soreness
for?
seemed plateaued, if not getting better, but most importantly, every jump felt confident and I started to feel as if I was
Backwards
beginning
hat
to
helps a lot.
float. Now, as I work my way through day 4, something you might have been wondering is why even box jumps, bro? Aren't there better ways to build a vertical jump? Well, perhaps. And heck, even looking at the studies and articles, there's a mix of opinions and results based on box jump training. In fact, what I saw, most of it actually looks negative. But I wanted
They
to
are
choose
overrated.
something that was just simple, consistent, and could be repeated each and every day that might yield results if focused upon properly. So practicing the art of jumping by just jumping up onto a box, I feel like it can't get much simpler than that. And because I gave each jump my best effort,
The best thing he could have done, really, really consistent, is put something above his head to touch. So he should have just did 100 jumps underneath the rim every day and try to touch the rim every single time.
once again, I was exhausted at the end of these 100 reps. On day 5, in order to keep my sanity to do something other than
Big, big secret. The easiest way to jump higher, give yourself a target. So if it's a 10-foot rim, if it's the net, if it's the backboard, try to reach something high.
just jumping up on
It's that
boxes,
simple.
I took another attempt at working out again before training box jumps. Now, I still had a lingering fatigue from the entire week, but it wasn't as bad as day 3. But once again, I kept this workout short because I wanted to focus mainly on the box
Could lose some
jump.
weight.
The sun is coming out. It's a nice day, so I decided to take day 5 outside for the box jumps. Actually going to be jumping on some picnic tables. Blasting off the uneven grass up onto the picnic table was a little bit different than the consistent gym floor. But
He
it
just
felt
talked
like
about
a good
consistently,
change. And the first 50 of my jumps felt really good. I did a combination of higher jumps up onto
Just
the
talked
main
about being
surface of the
consistent
table, and then depth jumps onto the
on a
sitting portion of the
24-inch.
table. Man, what a hack. You don't even need to buy a box if you want to do this. Anyways, towards the second half of the 50 reps, I started to feel fatigued, but I powered through, making it 100 total reps. First 50, I felt snappy. Like, man, I'm like, dude, bro, man, dude, we're getting this. You know, we're flying.
The higher it gets, he's backing away further to jump higher, or make it onto the box. That's not engaging or working his hip flexors enough. So training that slightly horizontal or 45-degree angle is not really going to help.
Towards the second half, though, then again, this is taller. What's the standard size of a picnic table? I don't know. But it's definitely taller than 20 inches. So, day 5, we out. Speaking of all of this ballistic movement, what a blend containing one of my here on out. Thank you guys. Vicious.
Take the
Looks like he's
rolls
going to do it
off
for like 7 days.
or chase the one you want.
7 days? If he tests himself on day 7, he'll be gassed, and the vertical,
Stop for nothing.
insignificant improvement.
Ascension.
Let's see.
Hyundai Ioniq 5 versus Tesla
Oh, come
Model
on.
Y. Look what Ioniq 5 has.
And what Tesla Model Y doesn't. This intensity of the previous couple of days, but after making my way to the gym and warming up, I only did my 100 box jumps. Towards the end of this session, I noticed that the quickness of my jumps was going down significantly. When I tried to do depth jumps, it felt like I was
Just talked about recovery and the quickness of his jumps.
a sandbag coming to a dead stop on the ground. There was no pop off the ground anymore.
If he hasn't done elastic stuff like this, his tendons will be killing him, especially if he's up there in age. If you don't train your tendons...
But I did my best to visualize myself floating, and I got the 100 box jumps done. Oh, and afterwards I decided to work on the anterior core, i.e. the abs, because of all of the posterior chain work that was done from doing 100 box jumps every single day. Now, because day 6 was such a grind, I decided to use day 7 as a rest day before the test day. So did 100 box jumps a day help me increase my vertical? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to find out.
Did it for
Real
6
quick,
days.
I actually took 2 days off after the last box jump day.
Lies! This fool's full of lies. I told you. I already predicted all this
That's
stuff.
right. I took day 7 off. I took day 8 off. It's, I guess, a week and a day. So,
Because your body's going to be wrecked if you just did 600 jumps.
did we improve the vertical jump? It's time to put it to the test. Let's run this thing.
He probably didn't even do a full warm-up and high jump on his test day. I could have improved his vertical in probably 5 minutes of coaching without any box jumps. Look how deep that bend is. The dude's stiff. He does not know how to use his body. If you're going for a max jump and you're running full on straight like that, oh my lord.
So, without a run-up, my best take was...
Look at the depth on his bend.
So, without a run-up, my best take was...
Look at the depth. The other one, right? The one in the red shorts, he's bending a little bit lower.
I was able to touch
And when you bend that low, you're never going to bend that low for sport, especially basketball.
the rim. So that's an improvement from before. And with a run-up, I
You could get that from adrenaline. And then
almost a grip on that.
look at his run up. Oh, back it up, back it up, back it up. Okay, you could look at where his momentum is in the run up. Okay, when do you want to punch those arms? See, his arms are already here. It's already in line with the spine, and the other one, it's way back. So where does he get his extra vert? From his arms.
Just a grip on that rim right there. Not a crazy one.
Accelerate your arms. One of the keys to jumping.
Crazy
Okay,
one
there's
foot increase in vertical. No, I can't dunk. Should we do the road to dunk? That would be crazy. So I've had my vertical jump probably a little bit higher than that before. I don't know. I wasn't wearing these barefoot shoes, which decrease my height on the ground because they're basically just flat. I remember my best take being when I was doing the 1 month plan volume 1. Around like 2 weeks in, I was able to vertical jump, basically get a grip on a basketball hoop. It wasn't this one though,
Hell
so
no.
this one might be a little bit different.
There's
in
no
height.
push
I
into
don't
the
know, I'm
jump.
just
There's no
disclosing that.
acceleration.
Other than that though, in just 1 week, relative to right now, improvements in my opinion. I feel a lot snappier in each vertical jump. I felt more float time, and I was able to ding the rim and almost kind of grab it with a run up. Man, maybe just try one more. I'm gonna try one more right now and try to grab it, all right? So yeah, 100 box jumps a day I think was a definite improvement on my vertical jump, as you can see before and after. I don't think it's the most optimal thing to do. Obviously, it was just a lot of box jumping, but with that being said, still just doing something as simple as that can yield results. I probably could have got more efficient results if I did a mix of different types of
Do something consistently, and you'll get some results. That's pretty weak results. I would never program somebody 600 box jumps across 600 days. It's too repetitive. There's no time to recover. And box jumps in general is just not that good for hoopers. Hope you guys learned something. Don't go do box jumps. If you do, do it on some plyometric soft boxes. Don't hurt your shins. Stay recovered, get recovered, and until next video, take 14 minutes, 24 seconds, or 1% of your day to get better. Peace.